Hi, I'm Nancy Blotner. At Caldwell University, we believe that all citizens should be informed about the important issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Cohn Resnick, Accounting, Tax, and Advisory, where forward thinking creates results. The Fidelco Group. ADP, a comprehensive provider of human resources technology and services. Meridian Health. QualCare Inc., a managed care company administering health plans that care about your health care. Caldwell University. And by the North Ward Center. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com. And by bestofnj.com, covering all New Jersey has to offer.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
We are pleased to be joined by our friend Dana Katzman-Spett, who is executive director of a terrific organization called Power Therapies. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too, Steve.
We've worked together with the Berry Foundation, Russ and Angelica Berry Foundation. You, in 2007, won the Russ Berry Award for making a difference.
That's correct.
And I want you to talk about what Power Therapies is all about, the impact that you make, and why you have so much passion for it.
Power Therapies uses horses in the farm environment to affect positive change with children and adults with special needs. We have clients as young as 2.5 and as old as 80 that participate in programming on our farm. Pony Power is owned and operated in Mahwah, New Jersey, where we have 17 program horses, 14 staff, over 100 active volunteers from our community that support 120 to 170 sessions a week on our farm year-round.
You know, so interesting, because we work with the Berry Foundation for so long, the focus on those awards is on those who make a difference, and ordinary people who make an extraordinary difference when you find out they're really extraordinary people. And when I first heard about you, and I thought, in many ways, it's how people get into these organizations, how they start them. You started the organization because of your own personal experience with your daughter, who is now 18. Talk about your daughter, what she faced, and how that motivated you to start this organization.
Sure. So I'm a lifelong equestrian. I've had horses since 5. I'm also a trained social worker. I have a master's in social work.
Right.
And I have a child who presented with some very minor special needs with sensory integration when she was about 2 years old.
Sydney.
Sydney, that's correct. And through research, I came across therapeutic riding as a treatment modality, as an adjunct. So I became certified and really started the program with 1 horse and 4 riders.
1 horse, 4 riders.
4 riders.
Okay, let me try, see how this works.
See how it worked. I knew it was working for my child. It made us happy, and it improved her life
What was it doing for
significantly.
Sydney?
It allowed her to gain the skill that she needed with her sensory processing, and it was an immediate fix for her. And it's something that, you know, she's 18 now, and she graduated high school a year early, and her life is fabulous. And it's working for so many others.
Let's take a quick look. Paula Levine, our producer, let's take a quick look at Power Therapy, and we'll talk it through. Let's take a look.
A big part of our client base are individuals on the autistic spectrum, both children and adults, individuals with cerebral palsy and other medically fragile conditions.
I'm gonna jump right in to the water and close my eyes till the energy turns and brings me back to life.
Describe the connection between those horses and those kids.
Horses are incredible animals. Like I said, I've been with horses since I'm 5 years old, and I still, every day, am amazed by the animals. They don't communicate with language, they communicate by body language, and they are animals of prey, so they're constantly responding to their environment. And horses have the ability to interact with humans, they're social, so their behaviors are very similar to human behavior. The benefit when sitting on the back of a horse, and if you're in proper position, which requires our 3-to-1 ratio of staff or volunteers to rider, the input of the horse is exactly the same as human gait. No machine can replicate that. The horse responds to the ground, it sneezes, it moves through space, it's moving your body dynamically. It requires that you're present in the moment, which so few things allow.
What are those kids getting?
Those kids are moving their bodies. If you're in a wheelchair, we have children who come to us from the Children's Therapy Center, a local organization working with multiply handicapped children. And they're coming from a wheelchair to being on the back of a horse, and their bodies are moving as if they're walking. So it's enhancing all the therapies that are already going on in their life. And it's bringing joy. I mean, how lucky are we at Pony Power that people are experiencing joy?
What does it do for you?
I'm very passionate, as you can tell. It requires, it's a 24/7 job. Horses don't pack up and go home for the weekend and take vacations. So it's a tremendous, Pony Power is a huge operation to manage. 17 horses, 2 goats, 2 pigs, 3 dogs, and a cat. Is a full-time plus position. And we're located in Bergen County, and so it's a very serious job, and we maintain our horse herd as if they were superstars, which they are.
Where do you get them?
All of our horses are either donated or rescued, so it's kind of a win-win for everyone on the farm. Our horses have been repurposed. They may have had a show career with an injury, and they would serve well in our program. We've rescued some from slaughter. We've rescued some from abuse. So they are, I believe, I don't speak horse, but my gut feeling is they're grateful to be on the farm as well, and they give back to our clients.
Where do you get the money?
The money it comes from everywhere. We have a fee for service for those who can pay, which covers a portion, not the actual cost. We're constantly fundraising through private foundations, grant writing. The Russberry Foundation was instrumental in giving us an award back in 2007.
What did that mean?
It was validation of our program, of Pony Power, that Pony Power is on the right track and that people believe that we're a good investment, which we are. And it just continues to allow us to grow. Our program grows daily. The phone rings nonstop. We're looking to expand. We're looking for more property. Our partners in the community continue to grow on a daily basis.
Let me try this in the time we have left. We talk to nonprofit leaders all the time about the challenges of doing this, of running the organization. Passion's a big part of it, but the business side of it is always very challenging. Having to, beyond what it is you do that you love, having to go out there and raise the money and being a leader and all those things. Do you love that part of it, or do you accept it?
I accepted it at first, and I love it now. I love talking about Pony Power to the community and sharing with the community, because I believe 100% on a day-to-day basis when I hear from a family of an autistic boy that the time spent on horseback at Pony Power allows the family to have several hours post-riding of actual communication face-to-face and with language because of the movement of the horse. I love Pony Power because the VA hospital in Lyons, New Jersey is sending their women who are in the women's victim unit who have suffered, sexual trauma while in the military, and the horses are allowing them to talk about appropriate touch and boundaries and setting boundaries. Right. And I get to talk about that, and by talking to that, we bring more from the community into the fold to help us fund our program that's so necessary.
Dan, I want to thank you. It's interesting. We meet the winners, we meet the people who participate in the Russberry Awards, every year. It's been a lot of years now. And every year we're inspired by the winners who come back like yourself. So thank you for doing what you do and the people you serve.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Stay with us one-on-one as I get my voice back right after this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are honored to have our friend Mike Kellenyi, who is the founder of an organization called People Against Distracted Driving. It's an honor to have you with us, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Talk to us about you would rather not be involved in this organization, but you are because of a tragic personal experience.
Yeah, I was thrown into it. I really wish I never had to be in a position like this. I'm thankful now that I can. I kind of call myself one of the luckiest of the unlucky. 10 people a day die from distracted driving, whether it's cell phone use, looking at the phone, picking up a bottle on the ground, whatever it is. Most of the people don't have the energy or the heart or something to go out and speak to other people about trying to prevent it, because it's life-changing. I mean, it kills people, but it affects so many people when one person dies. It's hard to even explain the pain that goes through it.
And your
all
loss.
from the phone.
Your loss.
Yeah, my loss was tough. My daughter was 18 years old. Beautiful, beautiful girl, Kellenyi. Just like any other high school senior ready to go to college, she was accepted into Rider College. They were out, just like every teen goes out with their friends on a Saturday night, looking for a place to go, having fun, not thinking anything can happen because everybody's invincible. She was in the back seat of her friend's car. Her friend was on the phone and went through a stop sign in our town. Little 25-mile-an-hour road, 11:30 at night. No traffic at all except one pickup truck coming down the road. And she went through the stop sign, the pickup truck hit the car, spun the car around. The girl in the front seat wasn't wearing her, the passenger wasn't wearing her seatbelt. She got ejected, got thrown through the window, flew 60 feet through the air, landed on her head, cracked her skull. She survived. The driver didn't receive any injuries at all. It hit the other side. My daughter was crushed in the back seat, alive for 45 minutes while they tried to cut her out. She passed the first time when they cut her out and they pulled her out. They said she bled out then, but she ended up coming back to life. They put her in a helicopter. They saved her another time because she passed then, flew her to the hospital. They operated her. They tried so hard to save her life, but internal injuries got her. When the truck hit, she was wearing her seatbelt, the only one in the car in the seatbelt, and it crushed her insides. So that's what happened when they cut her out. It just bled out. Yeah. It's devastating to us, hundreds of friends, everybody, all because of cell phone use, not paying attention, inattentive driving, all those together. And kids and adults really have to think about when they're behind a wheel. It can change in a second when you're not paying attention.
6 months after your loss of Nikki, you decided to do this.
Yeah.
Why?
I guess about 3 or 4 months after, my wife and I were at her grave, crying our eyes out, and we realized there was nowhere to turn to. There was no organization, no MAD for distracted driving. And my wife said, why don't we do something to help other people? You can go and talk, you can do things. And we decided right then and there, she said, let's call People Against Distracted Driving. My wife and I had nowhere to turn to reach out and tell people how we're feeling, what can we do, where should we go, what's our next course of action. There was nothing out there, so we decided to do this to help other people.
Right.
At first, when I started out, I just wanted to help other grieving victims. Then I realized there was a real need for someone to go around and talk to kids and adults about distracted driving. And I say kids and adults because adults are just as bad. Everybody says kids, teens.
Who's on the phone? Who's messing with the radio? Who's putting makeup on?
Yeah.
Who's doing all kinds of things being distracted? People think distracted is just texting. It's way more than that.
Right.
By the way, this, what I'm holding right now, is this the big message?
Yeah, we have that sign right now in at least 17 states. I think we might be up to 19 states in the United States and also in Canada and Europe. We donate them to schools, to towns, universities, anybody that will take it and listen to us when we go talk. We'd like to donate them because it's a message, especially if you leave it at your parking lot when you're exiting or coming in. It's a good message, especially for kids.
Back of trucks, too.
We have some trucks that have the big message, that on it, and a picture of my daughter that is 6 foot tall.
Really?
She's beautiful, beautiful girl on the back. So when somebody's coming up, they see this beautiful girl, and first they might think, model or something, then they see that.
There it is right there. Could you get that's a shot of Nikki.
Yeah, that's a shot of Nikki on the back, and that truck goes, we have a whole bunch of them. They go from here to Maine to Florida to Texas, all over the country. Through MJD Trucking, which is a great people. They do a lot of stuff.
Thank our partners, our friends at New Jersey manufacturers. They're Bernie
New Jersey
Flynn, they're so committed to this.
And Bernie, since we started, they have been our biggest supporter through everything we've done. Every year, they They're the main sponsors to every event we do. There's a big event, and Bernie and the whole team are just so committed to helping others and to save lives through their company. They're great people.
Yeah, they're also
I
huge
love New
supporters
Jersey
of,
manufacturers. They're the best.
They're huge supporters of public broadcasting and our awareness efforts in programs like this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. People watching right now who say, it's just a second. It's just one text. It's just one little text message that I'm sending. It'll just take a second.
That 1 second, and I know everybody's done it and has thought about it. The 1 second, think about the time when you looked away for any reason for 1 second, looked up and the car was stopped, or you started rolling off the side of the road. That's all we used to have to worry about, is just when you're driving, you just don't think for a minute. But now with the cell phones, with the computers in the cars, with all the GPS and everything, that 1 second, it happens, and it happens every day. 10, 12 people every day get killed by this. It's like that. The 1 second changes lives, ends lives, and it makes you responsible for possibly death. And you don't want to kill somebody. You don't want that to happen to you.
A few seconds, 30 seconds left. Your life's work.
My life's work is to save other people from our nightmare. That's all I can want to do, is help other people. We don't want this to happen to anybody. Somehow we got whatever we can do.
You didn't have to do this. You chose to do this.
Yes.
And we thank you for doing it. And this wristband, people against distracted driving. Okay. Do you mind if I
would be honored if you wore it.
Okay.
And I'll give some for your kids and everybody else.
Yeah, I will. Remind my wife as well.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato-PhD. And follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are here with Paige Alenick, who's one of our Raspberry awardees for making a difference. Now, you are 19 years of age and you started an organization called Donate a Toothbrush. Why and what difference has it made?
Why? Well, I started doing this when I was actually 15, and I've grown up with the belief that if you have something, you should give something back. And so one night I was brushing my teeth, and kind of randomly I started thinking, this is a habit. I do this all the time. Why is this important? Does everybody get to do this? And so what I started doing was I started doing a little bit of research and seeing if there was an actual need for toothbrushes and where they were needed most and why people needed them. And so I came into contact with World Dental Relief, which is run by Dr. Ron Lamb, and he heads this mission organization that sends out 60 dental missions every year to 60 different countries all over the world, and they provide anything from dental equipment to dental services to toothbrushes. And he told me that without the toothbrushes, without a way to maintain what these missionaries are doing, there's no point in having the problems fixed. So that inspired me to create this organization, and it's spiraled out of control in the best way possible.
Yeah, out of control is a good thing. How many toothbrushes are we talking about?
Currently 153,000 and growing. So,
what difference has it made, in your opinion?
In my own personal life, it's taught me to appreciate a lot of the smaller things that we take for granted, but for on a more global scale, I think that it's really given somebody who doesn't have anything to clean their teeth with, to prevent diseases with, to have a smile, to feel confident with their smile. It's given them the opportunity to keep themselves clean and to healthy. So it's really important to me.
Thanks for making a difference, Paige.
Thank you so much.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato-PhD. And follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are pleased to welcome Marc de Grandpre. He is a general manager at the New York Red Bulls, and Ray Kernis, senior vice president at Bayer Corporation. Good to have you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Now, you guys have an interesting partnership. 5-year partnership into the second year. Describe it, Ray.
Yeah, so Marc and I got together about a year ago and said,
You guys are doing some incredible work on a community-based level. Well, Bayer's doing some great things as well. And we thought to ourselves, let's sit down and talk and figure out as a way for us to work together to actually do even better things for the community. And so, ergo, comes a partnership that is now together for the next 5 years, and I couldn't be happier.
Doing what kinds of things?
Oh, we're excited. We're going to be in the community annually, making sure we spread our message into the community, help the community grow. The essence of the partnership is not slapping logos anywhere. It's really the betterment of our local community. We both have our headquarters here in New Jersey. We want to make sure that we help enhance and better the community where we are every day and our employees are every day. And we want to make sure that we become part of that community. And with Bayer, we've done that.
I don't want to assume anything. People know of both brands, but I want to make sure people know a little bit more. Describe the Red Bulls, and then I'll give you a chance to talk about Bayer.
So the Red Bulls have been in Major League Soccer for 20 years. Red Bull, the company, acquired a team in 2006, the Metro Stars, then converted them to the New York Red Bulls. We have our own soccer-specific stadium in Harrison, New Jersey. We've done fairly well over the last 2 seasons. We've won the Supporter Shield, best regular season record. And the team is progressing. Our attendance is growing every day, every year. Last year we set a record for average attendance for the club. Our business is booming, and we've got a reach in about 146 communities in the metro area, and I think that's where Bayer comes in.
Talk about the Bayer operation.
So these guys finished first place last year in the season, which was very happy for us in the first year signing our deal.
It's a good thing.
I thank Marc very much for doing that.
There?
Well, you know what? Two winning brands come together, you go come in first place. So,
describe Bayer and your operation.
So Bayer, you may know us as the aspirin company. We're a 150-year-old science company, though. We've got a large pharmaceutical division, a large agricultural division. We also have animal health. And frankly, when you look at the health consumer side of what we do, beyond aspirin, we own Flintstones Vitamins, Aleve, Coppertone, Dr. Scholl's. There's a lot of great products, a lot of great brands. 3,000 strong here in the state of New Jersey. We have our headquarters, $250 million investment out in Whippany, New Jersey, 800,000 square feet. We're a company based on science. And we want to utilize science, okay, to help solve some of the greatest challenges that are facing mankind today. And
let's talk about the interesting other piece to this our producers were just talking about this before we got on the air. One of the interesting parts of this is that your company is very engaged and interested in promoting science among young people K through 12. Yes. Talk about that. So STEM is a challenge in America. Science, technology, engineering,
and math. You guys. So the problem is this. I can look at you right now and tell you we've got over 100 jobs throughout America that we can't fill because we don't have enough people with the background of science, technology, engineering, and math to fill it. What we found in America as a whole, and we do a survey every year for the last 20 years, we have found there's a challenge. There's a challenge because kids are no longer excited about science. So what we have done for the last 20 years is a program called Making Science Make Sense. We go directly into the schools. The people who teach the classes are Bayer employees. Of the 16,000 employees in the United States, we arm them with the tools to go into the schools and get kids excited. We've got an ambassador who is the first African-American woman in space. 20 years she's with us now for this program. And the whole challenge for us is, how do you help kids get excited about the idea of science and math? Give them hands-on experiences. Once they actually get to touch and feel it, they get really excited. And so you take that program and you say, well, in our community, there's no greater organization than the Red Bulls when it comes to touching kids.
Give me the hook.
We touch about 146 communities. We have a Red Bull training development program where we help kids learn the game of soccer. So we have partnerships with those communities. We touch 40,000 kids and their families, and we think there's a hook there, right? For Bayer, our kids.
We're looking at a lot of video right now as you speak. Keep talking.
Absolutely. So we connect those kids. We can introduce them to Bayer, the brand, and what the brand does in the marketplace, and help them grow the interest in science and soccer. Because ultimately our goal is to develop not only soccer players, but good individuals, good citizens that go on to become productive in their local communities. And we think with Bayer we can do that.
Steve, when you look at the World Cup soccer ball last year, that ball was made with Bayer material. We had a division.
Is that right?
Yes, that's 100% right. That ball was made with Bayer material. Now, we've since spun that division off, but it goes down to the science. Look at soccer. Angles. Think about how when you kick a ball, an action versus reaction. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to teach kids. And we think this is where one of those areas goes, because obviously soccer is growing with great importance here in the United States. Kids love soccer. Parents are loving soccer. And so put this together, we think there's a winning combination here.
There's another part of this. We're about to show some video, I believe. Both organizations came together to honor our veterans. Talk about it.
Every year, as I said, on September 11th, we honor our veterans. Last year, Bayer jumped in and helped us support that, and we've continued that process over the years, and we think it's important. Again, veterans are part of our community. They're working in our community, and we want to make sure we provide them opportunities to be recognized for what they've done. And last year, Bayer did a tremendous job of supporting our match and really engaging the veteran community.
You know, it's so interesting. We were talking a little bit earlier on our team about a day of service. You know, we do a series called Making a Difference with our production company, trying to identify organizations and individuals who make a difference in the community. You give your employees 3 days, you said?
3 days a year to volunteer in the community.
We did about 365 community appearances last year with our staff and players.
What's the whole, and without getting into a lot of detail, but to help us understand this, do you feel there's a basic responsibility of corporations, sports teams, corporations like yours, to create a culture and an environment where days of service, giving back, making a difference is literally part of, not something nice to do, but it is what we will do?
It is for us, it's in our DNA.
Who we are.
Who we are is part of our culture. We want you to take those days. We want you to go into the community. Now, in many respects, we'll set up certain things, again, like with the Red Bulls, and Marc and I this past season, we're in a conservatory park in Newark, New Jersey. It was 110 degrees. We're sweating. We're lifting these plant boxes and wheelbarrows, and
Day of service.
We got dirty, man. Yeah. We got dirty that day. But it is part of the DNA of giving back to society. I mean, you want that as part of your culture, but you have to foster it. So giving opportunities like the Red Bulls, or frankly saying, if someone says, well, my kid's got this thing going on at their school, we're going to build a playground, can I go do it? Yes, you can.
Marc and Ray, I want to thank you so much. You have a great partnership between Bayer and the Red Bulls, and check out the Red Bulls over in Harrison.
That's right.
Great job. 1-on-2 this time. Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Cohn-Resnick, the Fidelco Group, ADP, Meridian Health, Qualcare Inc., Caldwell University, and by the North Ward Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.